So let's talk about a reading strategy called Chunky Monkey, and you use it whenever you come across a word that you're not familiar with. We're going to practice using a sentence that comes from a story titled, "Why Don't We See Stars in the Daytime?" And in this particular sentence, there's a word right in the middle that can be confusing or difficult to sound out. And I've highlighted it for you here. Now, whenever you come across a word that you're not totally sure how to sound out, what Chunky Monkey says is take that word and break it into chunks that you do know. So I've done that right here. If you take a look, I've broken that difficult highlighted word into 3 separate parts. And most of those parts are sounds that we're going to know. For example, I bet you can sound out this particular chunk of the word, can't you? It's ing, right? We know that word family. And I'll bet you even know this part of the word. It's en, right? And we've seen that at the end of words like hen and pen and then. So we've practiced that sound before too. It's this particular sound that can be tricky. And that particular sound might say ev, right? That's kind of how I would sound it out. Or if we used the E and had it say its actual name, it might say Eve. So we know that that's either got to say Ev or Eve. Now, let's go and try both of those sounds in our word. It might say, when evening comes, we cannot see the sun, its bright light goes away. Or maybe it'll say, when evening comes, we cannot see the sun, its bright light goes away. Which of those two do you think is correct? Do you think it's when evening comes, we cannot see the sun? Or do you think it's when evening comes, we cannot see the sun? That's how Chunky Monkey works in action. Take a complicated word and break it into sounds that you do know in order to try to figure out how the whole thing works together.